Hey everyone! Welcome to this explainer, where we are going to tackle one of the most common and, let's be real, sometimes one of the trickiest questions you'll find in your life sciences paper, the phylogenetic tree. So, if you've ever stared at a diagram like this one and just felt your brain start to fizzle out, trust me, you are not alone. But here's the great news. These things are an absolutely incredible source of marks once you really get how to read them. And today, we're going to make sure you do. Okay, let's just dive right in. We're going to take question 3.3 from the September 2025 paper, and we're going to pull it apart piece by piece. The goal, by the end of this, any confusion is going to be turned into total confidence. You ready? Now, before we even think about looking at the questions, the single most important skill you need is knowing how to read this diagram. Seriously, think of it like an evolutionary treasure map. If you can't read the map, you're never going to find the treasure. And in our case, that treasure is a whole lot of marks. It really is simpler than it looks. That vertical axis on the left, that's just time, going back millions of years. Each of these lines is a different species. And here's the key. Every single time you see a line branch off from another one, that fork in the road, that's a common ancestor. It's the point where a new lineage split off and started its own journey. And that brings us to the most important term of the day, the common ancestor. You have to burn this concept into your brain. Finding the common ancestor is basically the secret weapon to unlocking so many of these questions. All right, let's get some easy points on the board, shall we? We'll start with the more straightforward questions just to get our momentum going. So first up is 3.3.1, which asks what this diagram is even called. Well, it's a phylogenetic tree. It shows evolutionary relationships. Boom, one easy mark. Okay, next up, 3.3.2. This question is basically asking, what's the granddaddy of them all? Where is the root of this entire family tree? If you trace everything back, where do you end up? And if you do just that, follow all of those branches all the way down to the single oldest point at the very bottom, you land right here. The answer is literally written on the diagram for us, Australopithecus annamensis. Just like that, another mark is in the bag. See, we're rolling now. Okay, this next one is a test of your observation skills. It's a two-parter, so you gotta be careful. It wants to know how many different genera or groups there are, and then how many species from the Homo genus are on the tree. So, if you look closely, you can see three distinct genera. That's the first word in the name, right? We've got Australopithecus, Paranthropus, and Homo. And then, if we just count up all the species that start with the word Homo, we get a total of 6. It's just simple counting, and that's 2 more easy marks. For this question, we've got to use that time axis, the one running up the left-hand side of the diagram. We're going to use it to pinpoint an exact moment in evolutionary history. So here's what you do. Find the line for Australopithecus africanus. Got it? Now just trace your finger horizontally to the left until you hit that timeline. And what do you see? It lines up perfectly with 3, as in 3 million years ago. That's a full 2 marks just for being able to read a graph. Beautiful. Okay, we've banked all those easy marks, which feels great. Now let's level up and tackle the questions that need a bit more interpretation. You know, these are the ones that really separate the students who are just passing from the ones who are flying. The magic words here are closely related. Now, on a phylogenetic tree, that means something very, very specific. It has nothing to do with how similar they look. It is all about how recently they split off from a shared ancestor. And listen up, because I'm about to give you a huge exam secret. Whenever a question asks you to explain why 2 species are closely related, your answer should almost always include the phrase, most recent common ancestor. Just find the point where their 2 lines connect and name that species. In this case, it's Paranthropus aethiopicus. That's your answer. All right, another 2-for-1 question. The first part is testing if you can read the chart. We've been practicing that. The second part is testing what you remember from your notes about the fossil record. So for part A, all we do is find Homo habilis and trace its line backwards. Where does it connect? Right here, to Australopithecus africanus. And for part B, this is one of those key facts you just gotta know. Homo erectus is famous for being the first hominid species where we find a ton of fossil evidence outside of Africa. And here we go, the big one. This one's worth a full 3 marks. It wants us to connect the dots between what we know about fossils and that big idea, the out of Africa hypothesis. So let's break down exactly how you structure this answer to make sure you get every single one of those points. So how do we get all 3 marks? It's a pattern. Point number 1, You state that Homo habilis fossils, they're only found in Africa. That's our starting point. Point number 2, you say that the oldest fossils of Homo erectus are found in Africa, but the younger ones are found in other places. And for point number 3, you say the exact same thing about us, Homo sapiens. This clear pattern, oldest in Africa, younger elsewhere, is the proof. It shows a migration that started in Africa, which is the whole idea behind the hypothesis.
All right, let's wrap this all up. Let's distill everything we've talked about into a powerful, simple strategy that you can use every single time you see one of these diagrams in an exam.
It's a dead simple 4-step plan. Step 1, always read the axes first. Get your bearings. Step 2, find the branch points. Remember, those are your common ancestors. Step 3, use those golden keywords. Most recent common ancestor is basically free marks. And step 4, if you get a big question, don't panic. Just break it down and answer each little piece one at a time. Follow this plan and you'll know exactly what to do. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this breakdown. Always remember that every one of these diagrams is telling an incredible story about the history of life. Your job is just to learn the language. So keep digging deeper, keep asking questions, and good luck with your studies.